Okay, I'm live on the news stream, so hopefully people will come across for that. There's nobody on it at the moment, so hopefully people will find it and we'll get there again. And I'm talking to myself at the moment, but see if we can get the new live stream up. But it won't be a sec. I'll try to go in here as well. Okay, there's somebody on the live stream. So, yep, new live stream has started. Yep, we're back. And hopefully we'll get the live stream going again. I can finish my thing. Okay, here we are. We're back again. Everyone's coming back now. I'm fine, Bradford. Okay, it's slowly coming back. I'm not sure what happened there. Everything just shut itself, and I'm going to turn off my TV to see if I can stabilize the bandwidth. Let's have a look here. If I can find the TV remote, which is somewhere on the desk here. Screw it. I'm not going to waste. Hi, everybody. Here we are. Sorry about that. It just suddenly balked. The internet connection didn't go down. The thing just bloody balked. I'm going to continue with the movies I saw this year that were shit. After I have a drink. Someone suggested this one to me. It's a 2007 American kind of science fiction movie called The Nines with Ryan Reynolds playing 3 different characters in it. And it's bad. The Nines, I don't recommend to anybody. It is incredibly horrible. It is just, I'll tell you the spoiler in The Nines as well. Ryan Reynolds' character ends up being God. That's how bad a science fiction movie it is. Guilty to the nine, says Friday. Yeah, it's one of those ones where I wanted to punch myself in the eyes for watching it. It was seriously bad. James Cameron was listening and pulled your plug. Yep. Yeah, thanks to Peter and Andres for the super chats. Absolutely. Thank you very much, both of you. Yeah, James Cameron basically, no cultural impact on the Avatar films. People go to see them to see what the fuss is about. And then nada. Absolutely zero with the rim removed. Cultural impact. And that annoys me with those ones. But let me just do this. I'll do a heart to everybody. So I saw The Nines, and I don't recommend it. The last one is a 2021 caper film directed by Rennie Harlan, who back in the day made some kick-ass action films. But it's a thing called The Misfits, which stars Pierce Brosnan and who else is in it? I'm trying to remember who else is in it. Pierce Brosnan, Nick Cannon, Tim Roth's in there, cashing a check. It's partly set in Abu Dhabi. Thanks, Divining Dragon. Happy New Year. And yeah, The Misfits is weird because it's supposed to be a caper film about stealing gold. An altruistic bunch of people get together and steal gold from the bad guys. And they recruit a master thief played by Pierce Brosnan, who looks like he's either recovering from COVID or he's been drinking for a couple of years. And it's bad. Rennie Harlan directed it. It looks flat and ordinary. It's really, everybody doesn't want to be making that film. I just dislike it a lot. And I'm really disappointed in it. So I'm going to have a sniffy thing here. I've got a blocked nose. But yeah, don't recommend that. And the interesting thing is, when I saw it, it was on, I think, Netflix or Amazon, one of those. Doesn't matter. Because it came up with a thing on the Misfits saying, this movie is leaving the platform it's on in 27 hours, which means it's not on there anymore. But Jesus, a horrific. I mean, it's got beautiful locations in Abu Dhabi and does nothing with them. Totally unrealistic. Hi, Taker 68. Happy New Year. But yeah, that one really cheesed me off a lot. I promised Heather I would tell the Priscilla Queen of the Desert story. When I saw Priscilla Queen of the Desert, one of the locations there is Broken Hill. It's one of the same locations they had in Wake in Fright. It's a place with a really colourful hotel where Priscilla the bus stops. And I think it's Hugo Weaving gets out of the bus wearing a dress made of sandals. And they go into a really cute hotel. I saw Priscilla Queen of the Desert in the cinema around the corner from that hotel. And no kidding, apart from me and the person I was with, everybody in the audience was an extra in that film. And they were in there so they could see themselves on the big screen in those scenes. And I looked around and yep, everybody in the audience was an extra in Priscilla Queen of the Desert. And then the next day we went out to the Monday plane, which is the bit in Priscilla where the bus stops and the drag queens and trans lady get out of it and look across this endless desert plain. That's the Monday plane. So it was really weird seeing Priscilla at one of the locations for Priscilla. Now, the other thing I was going to do, and I'm not sure what time we got about 20 minutes left. This Day box set that I mentioned at the start of the truncated live stream from Radiance Films, who are putting out some really weird and wonderful and also fairly cost-effective things, has 3 Japanese horror films from the 1960s in it, made by Daiei Studios. First one is by Tanaka Takuzo, which is The Snow Woman, based on the Lafcadio Hearn story. There's the back of it. So it's one of those kind of movies. The next one is The Ghost of Yotsuya, a film by Mitsumi Kenji. There's that one. And there's a back cover. And The Bride from Hades, directed by Yamamoto Satsuo. And you get a book with it as well. I'm looking forward to watching these in the early part of the new year. And it's got stuff about the various legendary creatures in it as well. So yeah, that I picked up and I haven't had time to watch it. But I'm really going to sit down and binge these early in the year. Hi, Amy. Happy New Year. Can't stay because I'm on my coffee break at work. Wishing you two a great 2025. Back at you. Thank you for your support of the channel, Amy. I appreciate that. Tom Stein says, I enjoyed the Avatar movies because they were like a Jack Vance novel come to life. I don't know whether Damien's met him, but I met Jack Vance once when he came to Australia. Like a lot of people, like Frank Herbert, he's a very shy guy. But yeah, so any good Japanese stuff like this, I'm a sucker for. And so Middle-Aged Geek Girl says, what's in store for Terry Talks movies in 2025? I want to do more diverse movies. I know science fiction rates really, really well on the channel. It gets a lot of views, which is why I put together Science Fiction Saturday. But I really want to focus on other genres as well. I want to do some crime stuff. I want to do some more foreign language film. I want to do a lot of that kind of thing. Because they're the places I haven't explored thoroughly myself. And so I can bring a fresh set of eyes to them. And so I want to do a lot more of that. There are some things coming up from various people like Imprint and Umbrella that I'm going to review, and I'm really looking forward to as well. Really love the fact that Umbrella just put out Eyes Without a Face in a premium 4K edition with a lot of good essays and extras on it, particularly by people like Nadine Whitney, a friend of mine. Lots of really good people there. So I'm going to be doing a lot of that kind of stuff. Peter says, Lafcadio Hearn deserves to be known better, a great author. Absolutely. And he adapted a lot of Japanese legends with a lot of respect. Ben Ed said, not sure if they still have the Priscilla bus out the front of the Imperial Erskineville. No, somebody found it and they're restoring it at the moment. There was a kind of fake Priscilla bus, but the genuine one's being restored. Damien says, Westerns, yep. Yeah, I am going to do Westerns as well. Taggart is crime and foreign language. Yep. I'm going to be doing a lot more of that kind of stuff. And I want to revisit things like Euro spy movies from the 60s. I want to do more of that kind of thing as well. Just lots of interesting stuff that piques my interest. And I also want to keep doing the new things that are coming out that are really interesting. It looks like there are a lot of solid directions. I want to do Nosferatu. I'll probably see that at the Sun early in the year. And I want to do Robert Eggers' Nosferatu as well, because I'm looking forward to that. And I hear incredible buzz about it. Yep, Middle-Aged Geek Girl. Every film that isn't Australian is a foreign film price. Taker says, got the OSS Sondi set for Christmas. Which one, the old one or the new one? The Jean Dujardin or the ones from the 60s and 50s? Yeah, Damien, Umbrella and Viavision are doing a great job, and the people there know a lot of stuff. The old one, Taker. Yeah, I love those. The old OSS Sondi things. Bradford Dillman says, trying to seek out Wanda from 1970, filmed in an old stomping ground. Great character study about a woman wrapped up in a small-time hood. Directed and starring the same lady. Cool. Dick says, funny enough, soon as we watched Eyes Without a Face video, was opening my wonderful Christmas present from Carol. She bought me the BFI Blu-ray disc. It's a good edition. I've got that one as well, Dick. And yeah, any version of Eyes Without a Face you can get is a good one. But the scholarship in the big box one I got impresses the hell out of me. It's one of those Umbrella ones that they really punched hard in. And it was delayed for a while because there were production problems with it. But they did that. They did Caligula with 5 different versions of Caligula in it. Terrific stuff. D. says, lesser known Italian westerns. I recently got the Sartana series, which are interesting. I did review that box set of the Sartana ones back in the day when it first came out, D. Lee. Damien says, so many forgotten films of the 70s. Yeah. Tom watched The Horror Chamber of Dr. Faustus on the big screen back in 1960. It was the American title for Eyes Without a Face. Yeah, but it's great to go back to the original version. Yep, James says, I can't believe that Caligula release exists. Yep, and Broly, the Umbrella streaming service, which is free, has just released the uncensored version of Caligula on their streaming service beginning today. So there's that as well. Yep, Vampire, the Legend of Feline, yep. Taggart is TV crime set in Scotland with incredibly thick Scottish accents. I like thick Scottish accents. Ned here this time, Terry says, yep. Has anyone dared to see the Saccharine Slugfest here by Robert Zemeckis? Thanks for all the outstanding content and all the best to you, Sally and Luna and Jill. I haven't seen it. Robert Zemeckis is one of those guys that he's a stunt director in a sense. Everything he does, whether it's the Polar Express with the Uncanny Valley stuff in that, he's more a tech wonk than he is a really creative filmmaker. Don't think I want to see it particularly. There's so many films I'm going to invest my time. There are so many films I really want to see, like Nosferatu, for instance, that I'm not going to bother with some weird stunt thing that Robert Zemeckis does. Tom says, I later brought Eyes Without a Face on DVD. It was a real treat to see the complete version of the film. Absolutely. Going back to original versions opens the film up. You think, that was an okay film, but it wasn't great. But then you see the original version, you go, that's the thing. Never liked those films like Polar Express. Yeah. I think there are so many interesting things coming out that we can pick and choose safely and not feel guilty about it at all. Dix has also got Journey to the Far Side of the Sun Blu-ray, The Invisible Man Universal Collection, BBC Day of the Triffids, and the classic Scooby-Doo collection. That's a wide range of films there, Dick. Your Journey to the Far Side of the Sun came out on a double Blu-ray from Umbrella back in the day with something else. I think it was the Andromeda Strain, and Journey to the Far Side of the Sun came out on a single Blu-ray back when Umbrella was doing things like that. And it looks good because it's still very, it doesn't look grainy at all. But that's the version I've got. Neil says, I think Thrilling was a great American movie of the 70s along with Houston's Wise Blood. Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the great movies of the 60s, if you want to go back further, is The Swimmer with Burt Lancaster. That one is an incredible film to watch in a modern context. It's got a few different releases over the last number of years, and I've got one of them. But I feel so sad every time I watch The Swimmer. And I think it may be Burt Lancaster's best role. Really a dark film. And I read the original story it's based on too. Tom recommends The Nosferatu and A Complete Unknown is superb. I hear good things about that. I think I'm going to put it on my list too. We're so lucky at the moment. There's just so much good stuff coming out. And I've got a theory why. Does anybody want to hear my theory why really cool films are coming out now? Because it's a really off-the-wall theory. Yeah, Damien, The Swimmer is one you can rewatch and just get so much out of. And it plays against the stereotype of Burt Lancaster in a fantastic way. Okay, here's my theory about why we're getting such groovy films now. Everybody was writing scripts during lockdowns, and they had time to hone them like a knife. There are so many movies where the scripts were written during that time when people were at home and couldn't do much else, and they couldn't get out to make films. So we're getting this sudden flood of really adept movies that are so good because the scripts had the time to be fully nurtured. Not because the world is shit, middle-aged good girl. I've just given you the reason. Yeah, well, there is award season. And the strikes as well, Darren. Absolutely. That time to let a script be finely honed and rethought if it needed to be and redone without somebody looking over the shoulder of the writer. I think that's partly responsible for this stuff. And it seems to have lifted the quality of so much cinema that we're seeing. And I think that's kind of interesting. It's an unexpected upside to the pandemic and an unexpected upside to the strikes and things like that. All You Imagine Is Light is another one recommendation. I'm going to have to go back through the chat and write down all these recommendations. There's just so much good stuff. And one of the things I find delightful is there are a lot of strong women and non-cis male writers and producers and directors and editors making movies at the moment. So we're getting a different perspective, even in genres which have traditionally been male dominated. And those new perspectives are oxygenating the genres. Yeah, Diary of a Mad Housewife I've got on Blu-ray. And I haven't rewatched it yet, but I really should. Yeah, and there are lots of small films from the 60s I want to touch on the channel. I've talked about some of them briefly before, but things like Sylvia with Carol Baker and George Maharis, I think that's a great film, and it doesn't get any love at all. No, that'll do. I think that's pretty much you got it there, middle-aged good girl. Adam says, haven't watched new stuff much this year. Watched The Order. Was disappointed by it. It was about as gripping as a soggy glove. Yep. Memoir of a Snail is also one I'd suggest people see. D. says. Interestingly enough, Memoir of a Snail, some of the models from that were on display at the Sun Cinema while I was there a few months ago. Heather says, we love the JFF, Japanese Film Festivals, which are Australia-wide and online as well. Lots of really different films. I hear good things about those. Neil, wow, thank you very much. Appreciate that bump, mate. Wow. I'm stunned. Thank you so much. You're just encouraging me to do more videos and try to make them better. Appreciate that. Have a great New Year, mate, to you and your family. Hope 2025 gives you everything you need. Damien says, I wonder how many best pictures are still remembered from the past. How many will be remembered from the 21st century? I think it varies. I think it varies a lot. I think that there are going to be movies from the 2020s that are going to stand alongside the great films of other times as well. Something like The Substance, I think, has got that kind of status, where it's a breakthrough film, and it goes to trauma-like places at the end of it. But the reason it does it, and the reason it goes there, is it has something important to say about how women are in society, and particularly in celebrity circles, and how women jump through some painful and ugly and nasty hoops in order to maintain careers in media. Neil says, Shelley Duvall's luminous in Three Women. Brad Dourif is so raw and beautiful in Wife's Blood. It's painful to watch. Brad Dourif is an actor that I love. He's always like that. He's just one of those incredibly adept journeyman actors whose career didn't go anywhere fantastic for a long time. And even in small things, I mean, he was in Wild Palms, the cyberpunk miniseries from the early 90s. And he's really good in that as well. Yeah, middle-aged Giggle says, the shittiest thing about The Substance is the end is given away by thumbnails. Yep, but when we get the physical media copy I'm getting, middle-aged Giggle, I want you to try to put that aside and just go on the journey of the movie. That's the grace note at the end. But it's also everything that leads up to that makes that ending land. So, yeah, but it's shitty that they do it, but try to put that aside when you see it. I really want you to enjoy that film. And it was really weird because after seeing Dennis Quaid in The Substance, I thought about it while I was eating prawns the other week. And I tried to, even though I was in the room by myself, I tried to eat them in a very un-Dennis Quaid way. And if you've seen the movie, you know what I mean. So, people, we're coming up to 4 minutes left. I think it's a lot more than that, Adam. The Substance is something of its own as well. But it's also Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, apart from Dorian Gray. It's a lot of different influences there. So we've got 3 minutes left. Is there any questions people want to ask or anything people want to say before we close down this second half of the sadly messed up with live stream? James says, I'm kind of glad I don't eat prawns. I like prawns. I grew up with prawns. Prawns are yummy. Bended says, I can see it now, extreme close-up prawn eating stream. I promise not to do that, Bended. I promise not to do a mukbang of prawns on the channel. It's not the kind of channel I do. And also, they're really expensive at the moment. So, any last-minute stuff people want to talk about? Middle-aged Geeko says, it's been a pleasure being your moderator. I appreciate the chat. Always behaves himself. Dick says, been fun. Looking forward to the future Terry Talks movies. Going to be getting a cup of Yorkshire tea and a handmade mince pie. Go for it, Dick. Have one for me. And by the way, I have paid Middle-aged Geek Girl for being a moderator in a very big way. I was hoping the payment arrived today, but it's going to be another couple of days. But she is a very happy little moderator. Peter, great spending New Year's Eve with you too, mate. Have a great time over there in Adelaide. Eat some Metwurst for me or something like that. But yeah, this is fun. I love doing it. And it's always a bit of a tightrope. Yeah, they put out the fires pretty much, Tom. Up in the Grampians. They're under control. They're not out, but they're under control. Heather says, want to see more of your T-shirts this year. I only see the tops of the pics. I'll see what I can do for you, Heather. James says it's been a very pleasant way of seeing in 2025. It has. It's been very pleasant for me. And I'm going to just chill out after this. I don't know whether I want to do a burger run or not, but I'm slightly tempted. Terrence says, now what a bung for it's hard to get in Brisbane. Yep, I can see. Middle-aged Geek Girls looking after Luna. Thanks, Damien, and to you and Heather. Julie, thank you very much. I'm going to end it now because I really need to go somewhere with this person. What's the first one we're going to watch in 2025? It's going to be The Snow Woman from this box set, Adam. This one's going to be the first movie I'll watch. It's already on my newsletter box for this year. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, James. Thank you, everybody. I'm winding this up. Sorry about Air Quotes Comedian. You can watch the live stream, though, both of them. And I will catch all of you guys next time. Next up, we've got Science Fiction Saturday. So thanks again. Really appreciate it. Love to you, Dick and Carol and Roxy. Catch you guys later. Bye.